to continue my discussion on the law, the reason for the law. Why was the law given? Today, I want to focus on the first commandment. The first commandment is written in the book of Exodus chapter 20. If you read from verse 1, you see God spoke to Moses and said, you should tell the children of Israel this way, thou shalt have no other gods besides me. He said, I'm the Lord your God that took you from the land of Egypt. Thou shalt have no other gods besides me. Why was that law given? Is it that God is jealous? He doesn't want them to know any other being? Is he afraid of people worshiping any other thing? He said, why is that commandment? It looks restrictive. As I said in the previous discussion, the law is given as an explanation of the way of life. The law is given for your guidance. The law works naturally, inherently for inanimate things. The law works for inanimate things without the inanimate things having to agree or disagree. Because, for instance, the rock, for instance, the planet, the law of volcanic eruption, when there is a fissures in the ground, it can lead to seismic problem. There could be eruption. You have full mountains, you have different landscapes because there is something that affects the tectonic system of that environment. So, for instance, you have the weather system, morning and evening, rainy season and dry season, winter and summer. The atmosphere has no choice but to obey these laws. And when it comes to plants grow the way they should grow according to their habitat, according to their species. Animals live in their habitat, fishes, birds, according to their habitats. So they have to comply with the law of that habitation to survive. But when it comes to beings that have will, beings that have independence, beings that can decide to follow this way or have choices, like human beings, higher beings, like human beings, like angels, they have to study the law and then yield to the law. So while the law works inerrantly, the law works independently, the law works automatically with lower beings or lower things. It doesn't work automatically. That doesn't drive higher beings automatically. Higher beings must choose to comply with the law. Okay, so that is important to know. So it is our responsibility to study the law. So the law here, but it's a natural law, we use it in science and technology. But the law that is natural has that higher dimension when we advance beyond the natural environment to discover that law affects social life. For instance, the law of magnetism. It is used in electrical system, electricity, but it affects human social relationship. We attract what is after our kind. Essentially, you can only attract what is after your kind, but externally, it's what complements you. Essentially, it's what's after. You cannot attract what is not your kind. But externally, that thing that is your kind essentially must complement you externally. Okay? You see the law of relationship there. So that's the same law of attraction we see in law of magnetism. We see in electrical system, or electronic world, or technological world. Now, let's talk about the law of commandments of the Bible. In Exodus chapter 20, if you read from verse 1, you see the Bible, God gave Moses a law. He said, tell the people of Israel that they should have no other gods beside me. Why did God say that? The law was given for guidance of human soul towards the right path. Take, for instance, human soul, whatever the soul admires, whatever the soul is drawn by, whatever the soul is attracted to, it affects the destiny of that soul. If the soul, for instance, is attracted to material world, for instance, let's assume you like material things. The soul is tied to material universe, material environment. It likes money, it likes food, it likes women, it likes men, it likes whatever it can be seen. It likes houses and beautiful. All you like, like Epicurean philosophers, they believe in pleasure. At the end of the day, because the soul was attracted and drawn by material things, it cannot advance beyond the material environment. It can't advance beyond it. So when the law is given, don't go this way, don't attach yourself. When he says, thou shalt have no other gods, it means don't attach your soul to something outside God. You can attach you can like something, but don't attach your soul to anything outside God. anything you attach yourself to outside God will trap you there. You see yourself becoming a servant, being in bondage within that same domain or limitation. So thou shalt have no other gods. Imagine if your focus was to worship the sun, astronomical environment. We get attached to the sun, and we talk about the sun. How will our soul evolve to its full value? Being that we did not come from the sun, because the sun we now admire cannot give us meaning of our existence. The sun we now admire cannot define our origin and our purpose. So if your focus is on the sun, we are going to have variations of ideas of what life should be like. People will come with different philosophies and understanding and definitions. That tomorrow we discover that nobody has a direction as to what is the meaning of life. So the reason for the commandment is to streamline the direction and give the soul direction for its ultimate fulfillment. It's to help you understand the path you should take. You know, everything has a path it takes. If you want to fly an aeroplane, there must be a route it follows to get to its destination. If you want to take a ship on the high sea, there must be a route it follows to its destination. If you want to travel to a place, it must be a road you follow to your destination. So the soul, what is the road the soul must follow for its destination? What's the road of the soul? So the commandment is given. So he said, thou shalt have no other gods besides me. If you allow your soul to be attached to something else other than the ultimate God by which the soul or from whom the soul came, that soul will become, so I said, I don't want to use the word dwarfed, because it will become lesser than it should be. It will not grow to its full value. It's like it's like having an animal and taking an animal from its habitat to another habitat. It will grow, but it will be stunted in growth. It will be less than it should be. So for human well-being, human full growth, for human to realize its full potential, it must connect itself or connect its soul to its origin. The origin of human being is the creator. And so the commandment is given to help enlighten the soul, to help lift the soul out of the clutches of the environment. Because when you come down to this part of existence, your knowledge of things is limited. You don't know enough. So because you don't know enough, the tendency is there to interpret things the way you think, the way you are told. And so there are various ideas about how things should be, how one should live, how one should believe. So the law is given to help you get out of these labyrinths of beliefs, labyrinths of ideas, labyrinths of philosophies, labyrinths of theologies, labyrinths of religion. To help, that's why we have two kinds of religion. One is evolutionary. That is, as people grow, they begin to understand things the way, this way, believe that way. The other one is revelatory religion, evolutionary religion. As people evolve, everybody evolves worshiping nature in all human races. They grew worshiping nature. Some people worship fish, some worship snake, some worship trees, some worship landmark, some worship things of whatever nature, some worship astronomical bodies. But as people evolved, there was a revelation. Revelation came and they believed that something exists beyond this nature. So there is this side of religion that is revelatory religion. There is this side that is evolutionary. Everybody partakes of the two. If your religion is simply evolutionary, you're going to end up not knowing what lies behind the scene. If your religion is simply human beings and environment is all that matters, you will never grow beyond the environment you find yourself in. So revelation comes, and that's how we think that we believe and understand angels exist. It is by revelation we know angels. We don't see them. It's by revelation we know spirits exist. It's by revelation we know heaven exists. It's by revelation we know that there is life after death. It's by revelation we know that God exists. It's by revelation we understand that we have a higher purpose beyond this planet. It is that revelation that gives us faith. We now live, that the just shall live by faith. It is because of revelation that faith becomes a requirement for relationship with God. It says without faith, it is impossible to please God. If there was no revelatory religion, there would not be need for faith. Because if it's evolutionary religion, you can understand things. For instance, people worship ancestors, and you don't need revelation, you don't need faith about that. All you need to do is to use energy, you speak. And what you believe will come to be. Your will that drives you in magic. Your will drives you in traditional religion. But when it comes to spiritual religion, faith is required. Faith here is not a believing in a concept. It is your totality summing up to the submission of God, who said, thou shalt have no other gods besides me. All right. So today I want to just focus or limit my discussion on that first commandment. Why that commandment was given. Thou shalt have no other gods beside me. It's for the purpose of cleansing your soul from encumbrances and entanglements. When you allow other things to clock into your soul, it blocks the free movement of the soul towards its destiny. When you allow many things to come into the soul, it hinders your clarity, it hinders your wisdom, it hinders your understanding of the way of life. When you don't allow God to be the center of your soul, it is impossible for you to realize your fullness, realize your full personality value, understand the reason for existence. In fact, you may find purpose, but that purpose will not be purpose that is long-range purpose. It could be purpose to make money. You won't find long-range purpose if your soul is not enlightened by what is bigger than it. It's not enlightened by what created it. It's not enlightened by God we are talking about. Anybody that believes God doesn't exist is because he has refused to experience him inside his being. Because God wants to reveal himself to you, within you. So it is in that respect that that commandment is given. So while it is like Old Testament, the commandment continues to run itself. We shall continue to love God with all our strength in all eternity. So the law will never come to a time we no longer need it, because it's a way of existence. We shall continue to love God with all our soul, with all our strength, now and after now. Whether we are dead or we are alive. Whether Christ has come back or he has not come back. Whether we are in heaven or on earth. We shall continue to love God with all our might, with all our strength. In fact, the more we advance, the sharper the love, the stronger the love, the more ardent the love becomes, because all these distractions will not be there. All these encumbrances of more worldly realities will not affect us anymore. So the love becomes sharper. So there's no time we will not fulfill that commandment. But it's no longer the commandment of idol, that building something like they say, this is what the law means. That is too external and material. The law is spiritual. Romans chapter 7 verse 14 says the law is spiritual. The law must be understood from a spiritual dimension. That's the law revelation required to interpret it. Okay? Thank you for listening. If you find this video interesting or enlightening or useful to you, please like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram. We shall have further and further discussions in this respect.